Hi, I'm Dr. Gabrielle Hodson, a professional nutritionist with a PhD in nutritional, medical, and environmental anthropology. I am the owner of Hodson Custom Diets, with more than 35 years of nutritional research experience, greater than 18 years of teaching experience, and the former director of plastination at the National Museum of Health and Medicine in Washington, D.C. As the director of plastination, I was responsible for the largest exhibit of birth defects in the world. I soon learned that a healthy newborn is indeed a miracle. As my career progressed, I had the opportunity of living among the Otomi in the deserts of Mexico. I studied the reproductive behaviors of these charming native women and their babies, and became an expert in human milk, the perfect food for the growing human baby. Upon returning to the United States, I continued with my teaching career, struggling with the challenges of teaching my students the benefits of a whole food plant-based diet. This is a picture of one of my organic salads with mung bean sprouts, homemade whole wheat bread, with freshly picked organic apricots from my garden. But my students continued to choose to eat artificial fast foods instead of embracing this kind of diet. The memories of my experiences working with Dr. Caldwell B. Esselstyn at the Cleveland Clinic strengthened my conviction to continue teaching this message to my students. Dr. Esselstyn is now a world-renowned physician and author, but we always thought of him affectionately as Essie. Dr. Esselstyn operated on my thyroid cancer, sparing my thyroid gland and saving my life as a younger woman. In his books, Forks Over Knives, he says, "Some people think the plant-based whole foods diet is extreme. 500,000 a year will have their chest opened up and a vein taken from their leg and sewn onto their coronary artery. Some people would call that extreme." Children today are growing up in a very toxic world, introduced to thousands of processed food choices at an extremely young age as they grow up. They encounter confusing fad diets and disturbing news of pollution and chemical additives that will most likely make them sick. Teens experience acne, anxiety, eating disorders, suicidal thoughts, identity crises, and the symptoms of numerous diseases to come, with a looming prospect of pain and suffering as they grow old. What if we could change this picture? What if disease and suffering was not inevitable? What if we could have strong bodies, happy families, a zest for life, and the expectation of a future life filled with abundant health? What if a perfect food supplement could be created, with the perfect combination of micronutrients, the perfect quantity of micronutrients, and in the perfect form? The exciting news is that this perfect food supplement has now arrived. Tonight, I want to talk with you about this perfect food supplement, MMF, or Military Micronutrient Formulation. The story of MMF really began on 9/11. Realizing that we were involved in a completely different kind of war with previously unknown health threats, the top brass of the military asked a team of expert scientists, physicians, and clinicians who had been working with antioxidants and micronutrients for more than 90 years of combined research. Is it possible to protect our soldiers against ionizing radiation, extreme oxidative stress, decreased immunity, traumatic brain injury, increased pain, inflammation and suffering, disease, and chemical warfare? With congressional funding, this team of scientists went to work to develop and perfect a powerful micronutrient formulation to protect our men and women in uniform with the cooperation of numerous military and university laboratories. These human studies revealed remarkable findings. Reduced oxidative stress while improving immunity in a group of healthy college students in Uruguay. Increased energy, better dynamic gait scores, and improved cognitive ability among Marines suffering with traumatic brain injuries after only 4 weeks of MMF use. Reduced CAT scan-induced double-strand DNA breaks by 58%, and in just 24 hours returned the individual to their baseline levels. And an 86% reduction in the development of neurodegenerative symptoms in living tissues. These were profound scientific results, even to the scientists who were working on the formula. MMF is the perfect food supplement, but it is nothing like any other supplement. MMF is patented, clinically validated through numerous human studies. the first formula to address health threats at the genetic level, the most powerful micronutrient antioxidant formula available, and proven to be safe through more than a decade of human use and double-blind placebo studies. Much the same as human milk that provides perfect immunological protection, perfect nourishment, perfect fuel for energy to growing human babies, and is critical to efficiently building their brains, bones, organs, and tissues as they begin their life. MMF, the perfect food supplement, delivers the perfect combination of micronutrients, the perfect quantity of each micronutrient, and the pre-metabolized natural biological isoform of these powerful micronutrients directly to our genes, giving us the same nourishment and fuel for energy, promoting more restful sleep, neutralizing free radical damage to reduce oxidative stress, supercharging the immune system to prevent disease, and potentially restoring the genetic function, vitality, and energy to what it was before we were even born. It is now universally accepted by scientists that free radical damage is the primary cause of almost all human disease and is a major culprit in the aging process. It is estimated that 62 million Americans suffer with cardiovascular disease, 5.3 million have dementia, and about 500,000 Americans struggle with neurodegenerative diseases. My own daughter has Down syndrome, a destructive disease much more than a syndrome. Down syndrome often means having a shorter life, because these exceptional children struggle with massive free radical damage created just by their being alive. As a consequence of her cellular metabolism, I knew that my daughter was forming dangerous compounds that lead to excessive amounts of the deadly peroxyl radical, one of the free radicals most often linked to cancer. As her mother, I knew she desperately needed breast milk, and sacrificed my own time to breastfeed her for more than 4 years, giving her this life-saving, perfect baby food to increase her chance for a healthier and a longer life. MMF neutralizes the free radical damage caused by excessive sunlight, ionizing radiation, water and air pollution, toxic chemicals, endocrine disruptors, and food additives. 3 of the most powerful antioxidants found in MMF are N-acetylcysteine, known to boost glutathione levels, the body's natural antioxidant that begins to decrease as we mature, naturally reduces cholesterol, and decreases oxidative stress that is a precursor to disease. Alpha-lipoic acid, known as the universal antioxidant, regenerates other antioxidants such as vitamin C and E, increases glutathione levels, and with vitamin E offers profound protection against radiation. CoQ10 is known to improve immunological functioning, provide energy, and reduce muscle pain. These powerful antioxidants work in combination with the other essential micronutrients, such as d-alpha-tocopherol succinate that works better in combination with d-alpha-tocopherol or vitamin E, minerals such as magnesium, calcium, selenium, and chromium, and the other phytonutrients in MMF, repairing the ionizing radiation effects of cell phones, CAT scans, airplanes, and a depleting ozone layer to restore our youthful vitality, energy, and health. MMF accomplishes this restoration primarily because this is not a multivitamin. It is the natural biological isoform of these micronutrients. When you eat a complex carbohydrate, such as a simple apple, there are bulky vitamin compounds within the apple that your body must digest or break down to use as fuel for energy. The research scientists working on the MMF formula were able to pre-metabolize the micronutrient ingredients in MMF, creating the natural biological isoform that rushes through the bloodstream within minutes, inserting into the chemical reactions that code for the proteins that regulate and maintain our bodies and rapidly repair the genes deep within our cells. If you could sit down each day to a perfect meal of superfoods, with the perfect combination of micronutrients, with no heavy metals or other contaminating toxins, without having to metabolize or break down these foods, and receive the healing power of these nutrients deep within your cells at the genetic level, then you would feel the nutritional healing and restorative power of nature found within MMF, the perfect food supplement. Dr. Kedar Prasad, the primary scientist involved with the creation of MMF, cautions in his writings that MMF is most effective when accompanied by the lifestyle medical approach of eating a whole food plant-based diet, practicing meditation, engaging in regular exercise, getting restful sleep, and not smoking or drinking alcohol. As a practicing professional helping many with health issues, I'm often asked questions from those taking MMF. Some of the most commonly encountered are, why do I have dizziness and headaches? Why am I feeling nauseated? I am suffering with reflux. What can I do? Why am I constipated? Why do I have diarrhea? I can't sleep. At first my blood sugars dropped, then they begin to rapidly go up. Why? I don't feel anything when I take MMF. Everyone else is seeing rapid results, sometimes in hours. Why am I not getting better from my disease? Many of these questions concern levels of toxicity and the healing response referred to as a Herxheimer reaction. I advise these people to keep taking the MMF, drink more water, reduce stress through meditation practices, avoid watching violent television before going to bed, cut back on eating saturated fats and excessive sugars. When people say they feel nothing, it's often because they're not following dosage instructions, or they are relatively healthy, and MMF is working at the genetic level, preventing future disease that's often not felt at the conscious level. MMF has a 12-hour half-life and is a standalone formula, with the only recommended addition of taking omega-3 fish oils 2 hours away from MMF, and avoiding other supplements that contain vitamins and minerals to maximize the effects of MMF. MMF does not interfere with medications, but if possible, they should be taken 2 hours away. The dosage depends upon weight and age. Adults above 100 pounds should take the adult dosage of 4 capsules daily, or 2 in the morning and 2 at night, 12 hours apart. Teenagers who are between 50 and 99 pounds should take half the adult dosage, or 2 capsules daily, or 1 in the morning and 1 at night. Children between 20 and 49 pounds should take 1 capsule daily, or half a capsule in the morning and half a capsule at night. And infants who are being formula fed should be given a quarter capsule morning and night in 4 ounces of water, 12 hours apart. The research scientists who created MMF indicate that it takes 3 full months of ingestion to fully saturate the body tissues. Some have such a high level of toxic damage that it may take much longer to reverse these serious illnesses. If you experience a Herxheimer reaction or a healing response to the MMF supplement, the following steps may help you. First, take MMF with food to enhance the absorption rate. If you feel nauseated, empty the capsules into yogurt or a drink. Stir well and drink or eat immediately. Remain hydrated. Drink half your body weight in ounces daily. Keep the bowels moving. If constipated, drink prune juice or take a safe, gentle, natural laxative, such as 1 to 2 capsules of Nature's Way Naturalax 3 with aloe, until your symptoms disappear. Rest and get plenty of sleep. Allow your body to heal. Reduce strenuous exercise until your symptoms disappear. If possible, get 20 to 30 minutes of sunshine daily, and take a hot bath with 1 heaping tablespoon each of yellow dock and burdock root herbal powders, adding hot water continually while soaking for at least an hour. The true brilliance of this formula is that those of us who cannot digest or metabolize gluten, vitamin B-rich foods, potassium-rich foods, and who needlessly suffer from celiac disease, MTHFR genetic issues, kidney disease, and other metabolic disorders can now receive the essential micronutrients we so desperately need at the genetic cellular level to restore and maintain health with no side effects. MMF is only available from Engage Global, who hold the patent and the exclusive rights to manufacture and internationally distribute MMF through their independent distributors.
My name is Christopher Yates, and I'm here from Las Vegas. I'm an Afghanistan and Iraqi war veteran. I spent 7.5 years in service, and 4.5 years of that time was spent in combat. I've been shot 3 times. I've been in 5 vehicle rollover accidents, blown up by a suicide bomber, and which causes me to have traumatic brain injury, and I have seizures that result from the brain injury. I was hospitalized for 475 days at the Eisenhower Medical Center, Fort Gordon, Georgia, when I initially was evacuated out of Iraq. And I had to see a speech therapist and relearn my cognitive skills over again. I had no short-term memory. I could meet somebody and forget about it the very next, within the next hour or two. And my seizures were becoming more frequent, and they were causing more damage to my brain. And the Army decided to retire me, and the VA took over my medical care after that. And the VA had me on a pill regimen that consisted of antipsychotics, anticonvulsants, antidepressants, blood pressure medication, and multiple opiates that were to control my pain. And I took 52 different pills a day. And since I've been on MMF for the last 90 days, I have come off of all of my medications, all 52 pills. I no longer take them. I take the MMF. And right now, I'm trying to get an appointment with the VA so I can have an MRI done of my brain to see what kind of repairs that it's doing for itself. So I'm excited to see what kind of good news I get back from that. And I'm one of those people that really did get his life back. Because of my seizures, I'm a scuba diver, a surfer, and a mountain climber, and I was unable to do any of those things anymore. I couldn't go skiing, nothing. And since I'm no longer on the seizure medication and I'm not having seizures, I've been taking my life back one step at a time, and I'm really proud of myself. Thank you very much.
I started MMF 2.5 weeks ago, and to give you a little bit of information about my background, I'm a registered nurse, worked in the medical field for 23 years, and I was born with congenital heart disease. I've had 4 open hearts. I've been cardioverted and shocked multiple times, had multiple cardiac procedures done. And in 2007, I developed cardiomyopathy and went to my cardiologist who sent me to a surgeon, and the surgeon that did my last open heart told me at that time that I was not I was not able to have surgery due to my condition. And they sent me to the transplant team. I was started on a regimen of medications and told that I wasn't a candidate for surgery, and that if they could bide me 10 years, that was their motive at that time. Over the years, I've progressively gotten worse. I continue to have problems with my rhythm. I do have a pacemaker and a defibrillator, and this recent checkup with my cardiologist, I was in ventricular tachycardia. I had 15 beats of ventricular tachycardia, and that's right before you go into cardiac arrest. And my comment to my cardiologist was, at what point does my defibrillator kick in? And he said, on the 16th beat. I said, what am I going to do? And he says, well, you have a defibrillator in, so that will cardiovert you. And I looked at him, and my first question was, have you ever been cardioverted? Because I have. I can't count how many times I've been shocked, and I don't want to be alive when that happens. It's not a good experience to go through, but due to all my cardiac issues, and I've had chronic pain through my shoulder blades and extreme leg pain, and through the years it's just progressively gotten worse. My cardiologist has talked to me about taking going on a disability because my health has declined. And when I was talking to a friend about my cardiac issues and the problems that I've had, she brought over MMF and asked me to try it. And at that point, I had nothing to lose. So I started on it 2.5 weeks ago. The very next day, I was on top of the world. I never had that much energy in my life. I took it into my cardiologist, asked him, what is there anything in this that's going to create problems with my heart or any of my medications? And he said no. He said, if you're feeling that great, don't stop taking it. Continue to take it. Through the years of being in heart failure, I've had severe chronic pain. I've had multiple surgeries. I can't tolerate the cold. The things that I have noticed since being on MMF is I have energy. I don't have to go home from work and go to bed. I'm not in bed all weekend because I do have the energy. I can get up. I have so much energy. This has changed my life. I don't have the circulation problems. I don't have the leg aches. I don't have the back pain from the open heart surgeries. And just overall, my whole health has changed. My ability to deal with people and at work and anxiety and being able to cope with everyday situations. It's just changed my life. I can't explain it any better than that. And I want to thank MMF for giving me my life back.
Okay, my daughter has lupus, so the top of her head there was no hair, and then she has all her ankles and her little fingers all hurting. She has red patches on her eyes and her hand, and she took this for a week, and all of the pain went away, and her hair is about 2 inches long, growing back, and so she's doing fine. My husband, in October, he was told by his heart doctor he needs surgery because 2 of his arteries are blocking up. One was 94%, one was 84%. In February, we went back for an MRI, but my husband started taking it in January. And in February, when we went back there, he took the MRI. We came back 2 weeks ago. The doctor called and said, "What did your husband do different? Both arteries opened. He doesn't need the surgery." So my husband is not taking anything else except MMF. So it was a miracle because I didn't know this thing can do that. You know, they have to have surgery to have it done. And then other than that, it's working. I'm going to get the documents from the doctor to show the pictures and everything that what happened to my husband. So that's a real thing. But thanks to MMF.
Over the embarrassment part because I've shared it with so many people, so hopefully you guys don't get uncomfortable and squirm in your seats. But I am 28 years old, and my entire life I only go to the restroom like twice a month on a good month, and that's always been how it was. And people are like, don't you feel fatigued and sick all the time? I'm like, no, that's how it is. I'm fine. And I've always been told you should go once a day. That's what's healthy. You're going to die of cancer. And I'm like, well, I don't go once a day, but I don't think I'm going to die of cancer. And so lately, or about a year ago, people really started getting concerned. And my friend Brittany, I think she was losing sleep at night over the fact that I was only going to the bathroom about twice a month. I didn't care, but she was like really, really stressed about this. And so we were at the Dr. Mom's store, and she testified right there with Brittany, you should be going at least once a day. And I'm like, okay, fine. So my friend Brittany went on this quest to get me to go to the bathroom. And I'm telling you, I tried everything, things that I don't even want to talk about. I tried, and nothing worked, and it was just this big mystery, like, well, where is it going? You just ate a foot-long sub, and it's going to take months for that
oh my gosh.
So I went to this doctor, and he did this test on me and found out that my intestines and my colon both were not functioning at all. Like, they didn't move, there was nothing, they just were dead. He said I had a dead digestive system, and with more testing he said that it was from my immunizations as a baby, my DPT shot when I was 2 months old. I got sick, and then he said often when you get immunizations, you get, kind of sick, but then the babies, their bodies kickstart back up, and then they're fine. That's why they're cranky and they have a fever, because it's, a lot for their little bodies to handle, and then they get over it, they're fine. Well, mine didn't get over it, it didn't get fine. So it killed my digestive system, and that's how it's been the rest of my life. Well, Brittany came to me with MMF, and she's like, you have to try this, I heard it makes people poop. And I love her, so I took it just to humor her, because I thought nothing is going to work. I've been told it's dead. If it's dead, it doesn't. I took a handful of every kind of, as a last-ditch effort, a handful of just every Dr. Christopher laxative, Senna, anything you can imagine, and I chased it down with castor oil and prune juice. Nothing happened. And so I thought, okay, if that doesn't help me, nothing's going to. This is my life. I have to have basically a raw diet or I'm going to get sick. So I did that, and so I just accepted that this was my life. So when Brittany was like, here, this will help, I'm like, okay. So I took it, and the first day, nothing happened. The next day I went to the bathroom, and I was like, it's been almost 3 weeks, I'm due. So maybe that was just and just, but then the next day I went again. And the next day I went again. And sometimes 2 times, and sometimes 3 times. And I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. And it's been like that every day since. And I'll feel like this moving stuff. And I said to my husband, I'm like, Joe, I feel like stuff moving in my lower abdomen. And he goes, honey, that's called digestion. And I'm like, oh, I've never felt digestion before. And so it was kind of exciting. Because once it food passed my stomach, I was like, not numb, I didn't have numbness, but I never felt anything after that. So this is amazing. I had a problem that was big. I was diagnosed with dead colon, dead intestines, that it could not be brought back. And then after a couple days of taking MMF, my body regenerated itself. It fixed my DNA, and so I'm just so amazed that this product does this. And I just think that as the building blocks that our body needs to heal itself. Because I hear all the different stories and we see all the different things. It's like, well, how does it fix their arthritis and their this and their this? And it's not a magic pill. It's just amazing nutrients that our body wants to fix itself. It can fix itself if we give it the right building blocks. And that's what MMF is. It's the building blocks that our body needs to fix itself. And I'm so, so grateful for MMF. Oh my goodness, I have a 2-year-old and a 9-month-old, and I don't have to take naps. I just thought I wasn't a morning person. I'm like, I'm just not a morning person, and now I'm up at 6 before they are, and I'm running and I'm exercising. Exercise was like, don't talk to me about that. Don't ask me to run with you in the morning because I want to be sleeping. But now I get up every morning, I go running, and it's amazing, and I feel like I could stay up all night, and I do. I have a ton of energy, and I thought I had energy before, but I didn't, apparently, and now I do. So thank you so much. Awesome.
Hi, my name is Marty Coburn. I'm from Orem, Utah. I'm the master founder of Engage DNA. I was brought this product about a little over a year ago from Jason Gawley. In December of 2012, I had a major heart attack. They put me in the hospital. They put a stent in my heart. A month later, in November, I was still feeling terrible. They went back in and put another stent in my heart, and when they put the stent in my heart, they gave me MRSA. For those that don't understand what MRSA is, it's an antibiotic-resistant staph. It went into my bloodstream, it went into my heart, 6 levels of my spine. I literally laid in the hospital without moving for over 4 months. They were giving me 4 different antibiotics, and the 4 antibiotics that they were giving me were so strong, it ate a hole in my esophageal area. And in a 5-day period, I had 45 pints of blood and 5 pints of platelets given to me. I was bleeding out faster than they could put it in me. From that point on, my kidneys shut down, had some horrendous problems, but working through it, 4 months later, I was able to come out of the hospital, and they told my wife that I would probably never walk again, that the damaged 6 levels of my spine were so bad that I'd probably never walk again. I'd be lucky to get in a wheelchair, get to the bathroom, and get back to bed. Jason showed up. Well, first of all, after I got home, they sent physical therapists in to take care of me. They'd given me 12 weeks worth of physical therapy. About the third week into physical therapy, Jason Gawley, the CEO of our company, showed up with this product and gave it to me. I had, like I said, 12 weeks worth of physical therapy. Within 3 weeks, they had taken and sent the physical therapist home because I had surpassed every one of the thresholds that they had given me in the 12-week period. From that point on, to give you a little background, I was in Vietnam. I was exposed to Agent Orange, and those that understand Agent Orange, it has terrible maladies that's attached to it. Type 2 diabetes, heart problems. My brain just went dead for a minute. The Agent Orange gave me all kinds of maladies: type 2 diabetes, ischemic heart disease, lupus. I mean, a myriad of different things that it created, notwithstanding high blood pressure that I had that they couldn't control. 4 different medications they had me on. They couldn't get it below about 160, 165 over the 90s. My cholesterol were in the high 300s, 400s. They couldn't get it lower. They had me on 3 different statin drugs, which, if everybody understands, that only makes things worse. The medications, if you've ever watched television, they tell you what it will help, but then they tell you you're going to die from all the stuff they give you. Or you could die, I'm sorry. But because of that, the MMF, I am no longer diabetic. They've even taken it off my driver's license. Blood pressure that used to be in the high 160s over 90s now is about 120 and over 70s. My cholesterol, instead of being the high 300s to 400s, is in the 70s. One other problem that I've had, when I was in the service in Vietnam, I was on an aircraft carrier that blew up. And we were bringing magnesium flares out of the flare locker, and the second guy back got his finger caught in the trip ring and it exploded the flare, and he threw it and it went back in the magazine and blew about 400 more of them up. Well, it took and just welded the forward part of that ship in underneath elevator 1, which forward of that is officers' country. It welded the officers in their berthing spaces. They couldn't get out. We fought that fire for over 6 hours. Finally, we were able to contain it. And after we finished, we had to go in and take the bodies out. Well, you don't get 100% post-traumatic stress disorder disability from the military for no reason. It flipped some switches with me. I have a genetic disorder. It's called narcolepsy. And narcolepsy, for those that don't understand, you just fall asleep and randomly. It's what they call beta sleep, where your brain goes to sleep to regenerate. Then you have the other phase where you go into REM sleep, where your brain wakes up and your body goes paralyzed so it can regenerate. Well, because of the only way it switches from narcolepsy to cataplexy, which I had, is to have a severe emotion or severe trauma. Well, it switched that, it flipped that switch and created me to have what we call cataplexy. And cataplexy is where your body goes into paralysis, into catatonic paralysis. And while I was standing, if I was standing very long, I could have 5 to 6 of these drop attacks a day where I'd go paralyzed. Just like you shot me in the heart, I'd drop. I could hear you, I could see you, I knew everything that was going on, but I was totally paralyzed. And this has been going on, like I said, for almost 40 years, 5 or 6 times a day. Since I've been on MMF, in the last year, since last July, I've had 3 of these drop attacks. We made a joke of it. I'm a hairstylist also. We used to make a joke of it where I was going to get a medic alert tag that said, "Give me 5, I'll be back." Because I was falling all the time while I was cutting people's hair. They had to really trust me because I had a razor in my hand. But thankfully, with MMF, it's taken and changed my life. It's given my life back to me. Instead of being constant, I would go to the grocery store, and if I had a spell, it got to the point where they'd put wet cones around me and call my wife and say, "Marty's on the floor again." If anybody understands, that's the most traumatic thing you can have. You're totally incapacitated. You have no control whatsoever. And because of MMF, I thank Jason Gawley for bringing this product to me and to the world right now. This is the most incredible micronutrient product that I've ever seen in my life. And I want to thank everybody and hope everybody gets the message that this product is the best thing you'll ever do for yourself. Thanks so much.